This is one word, two syllables. Ridiculous, right?
What's up, Raider Nation? Welcome to the Unfiltered Truth. I am your host, the ringleader, Phil Robinson. We are here a little late to celebrate the big victory on Thursday Night Football, 63-21 over the Chargers. So as with tradition, now on a victory show. Ain't going back and forth with you niggas. I'm living my best life. Yes, we are living our best lives. So joining me tonight, I have my friends here. We have Cade Morehouse. What's up, Cade? And we got Mr. Witt. Witt, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
What's going on, brother? How you doing? It's okay.
So late at night for you in the middle of the night over there. I don't know what you be doing, why you be up this late, but hey, I'm glad you're here with us. I know we got a little late on, but this 63-21 victory out 4 days after being completely shut out. What do we make of this, gentlemen?
I guess I'll start it off. I mean, first of all, I'm excited because anytime you beat a rival like that, it's exciting. Whether they have their starting quarterback or not, it's just exciting. You put 63 points up, that's always something to be excited about. It's kind of hard because with the state of the Raiders, like, you want them to, like, get a higher draft pick for so they can get a quarterback and everything like that. But, nobody in their right mind as a fan is going to be mad about putting up 63 points on a division rival. Nobody. So I thought it was a great performance. I thought it was AP's coming out party, telling everybody, I'm here. This is my job. And this is what it's going to be. This is Raider football.
Listen, scoring 42, 45 points.
Truly, Tony! Truly, what's happening?
I'm listening to a little bit of tripped over a little bit of blasphemy. We're gonna see how this is gonna go. I'm still in line. I'm gonna get on this roller coaster with y'all in 1 sec.
All right, well, let's
I'm gonna let him finish. That's what I mean. I'm gonna let him finish.
Okay, we'll scoot back and quit breathing in the microphone. I can smell your breath through the screen.
You know what? I don't usually use this station, so okay. Back up a little bit. We good.
What's up, Tone?
Man, another one like the other one.
There it is. I was going to say, what you up next on that question?
Yeah, so, scoring 42, 45 points at half is crazy. 42. Like, you thought you was in a dream at one point. But just to end it off and score 63 points, then to go from 0 points the previous week to 63 points was just, phenomenal. Like, you thought you was almost in a dream. Like, defense playing at a high level, 11 heads to the ball. They end up calling possession it. You got Trey Tucker coming out, scoring 2 touchdowns. Michael Merrick getting in the end zone. Zaire White getting in the end zone. And you thought, as the game going on, like, who's next? I'm excited to see what this team does on Monday. Just coming off of that huge victory. And, and I feel like with AP, he had a great outing, bouncing back from that Vikings week to the Chargers. And now we get to see what he does in Kansas City, see if he can lock in that head coach position.
You want to take this first, or should I, Tone?
We talking about this Charger thing, right?
We're talking about going from one from 0 to 63 in 4 days. And what do we make of this performance?
As far as Kansas City,
No, where is this team in terms of 4 days separated to 0 to 63 points?
oh man, okay, yeah, that's what I thought. So I was mad about that. It's like what I saw that day against the Chargers. It was like your ugly partner showing up with a super baddie out of nowhere. You like, what is going on? Like, this ain't real. This can't be real. Who is this woman? You know what I mean? Who are we watching? What team were we watching that day? Time will tell. You know, I don't want to get too cliche about it, but man, I was upset about it because we go from it says 0 to 63. So I don't know what kind of bipolarism they got us on back on or whatnot. But I'm mad about it, but in a confused way, because I don't know what I was looking at.
Mad about it in a confused way. You don't know what you was looking at. And now the funniest part about that is the first thing that Cade said when he started this off was he didn't know how somebody could be mad about a 63-point dub.
Like I said, man, it's your ugly boy shows up with a baddie out of nowhere. You like, did you pay? Are you paying her? Like, what is this? Who are you right now?
So is it enough for you to pull a girl to the side and be asking, is this nigga paying you, blood?
You can tell me, you pull your boy to the side, you can tell me, bro, I ain't even mad at you. You know what I'm saying? You got it. I mean, I applaud. At least you went all out. You know what I mean? You went all out.
These pictures is gonna last a lifetime, and you gonna be the man forever.
I ain't finna blast you on none of the comments and nothing. Go low, I guess, whatever they're saying now. I didn't like it.
I didn't like that they cut the dogs off. I thought that they could have very easily broke the record. And for me personally, if I'm an interim coach and I'm trying to earn a job, especially the job where I'm at, what better way to do it than to set an NFL record? At that point, you look at like, well,
that goes back to the same analogies, like your boy acting all cocky and shit. Now, acting all cocky now. Like, hey man, hold on. You ain't. This ain't your MO. Like, you out here actually pulling out players. You got the nerve to see what you got out there. You know what I mean? When did we start doing this? We actually pulling players.
That's what winners do.
And before anybody say, hey, look, they played against, the Chargers melanin. Hey, look, there's still plays that need to be made so they can get paid. Them incentives that they add up. So I'm sure they out there trying to get some.
I don't want to hear none of that shit, bro. That was the Chargers starting defense out there.
Yeah, it was exactly.
To a man.
I just put a little bit more. I just put a little mustard on it.
And Stick has been there a couple years too. He's been there a couple years.
This wasn't new. This wasn't a new defense. This was all in Pro Bowlers that all pro defense Telesco put together. That somehow it's his fault that they can't stay healthy. And they went into Vegas and they didn't want it.
I will say I will not, and I'm not saying that they were tanking or none of that. Like, our performance was great. We played great football. However, I wouldn't be surprised if they got together and they said, "Hey, we're gonna bite the bullet on this one and get this man Staley out of here."
We're gonna get them out.
Bro. Because I'm telling you, bro, that man Staley coached them out of more than 10 football games in the last 2 years. Am I wrong? Like, he was bad, bro.
Khalil was trying to get paid. He was trying to get another sack. He was trying to get them sack totals up. He was trying to get paid. That whole defense was trying to get paid. They were trying to get a pick. They said, "Oh, it's a rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm about to give me a pick and add
Six
another
sacks, 3 fumbles. Oh, we got
For
sure. I'm not sitting there taking away from the Raiders' performance at all.
No. That's
I
what
just
I'm
think
saying.
if they're not playing for the playoffs at this point, then you might as well play to get Staley out.
Yeah.
At this point, he's ruining your team. At least 75% of it. I mean, he was bad, bro.
So here's something funny. Your Chargers are exactly where everybody thought they would be, with them moving in as the little brother to the Rams. They've won absolutely nothing. Their coach is a fucking moron. They look like a rudderless ship. They got all the talent in the world on paper, but can't never get it to work past the regular season. Can't beat Kansas City, so they have the same ultimate issue that the Raiders do, and it's not working. And you in LA, you're either a champion or you're a chump, and we know the answer with the Chargers.
And you got the billboard quarterback. If you could market it with some wins, but
no, you don't. No, that's the funny thing. They have the most perfect Charger quarterback ever. This man looks the part. He plays the part to a T. But when push comes to shove, and you need somebody to absolutely get you a dub, like Master P said, there they go.
And it's gonna be interesting with them. What they're gonna do this all season as far as these contracts, because
Chargers. You talking about Chargers?
Yeah, the Chargers. Yeah.
Bruh, people say, and this is something funny, because a lot of people say they look uninterested in that game, bruh. I don't give a shit about how much I don't like somebody. I'm never, ever going to walk on the field and be okay with getting 60 points hung up on me. That's not
my phone.
Oh, you just gonna sit there and not say shit and be looking around like you don't know what's going on? The motherfucker, that's you? Yeah, that's you.
It's me, but it's not me though.
No, that wasn't you.
Her phone connected to the office.
That wasn't you.
Her phone is connected to the office.
That wasn't you. As soon as
I'm looking at y'all, I'm looking at one of y'all like, oh, y'all okay? Y'all just gonna be rude and polite at the same time. Okay, nobody gonna answer that.
Hey, Rob, I do have a question for you, and you may have wanted to talk about it later on in the show, but I just wanted to ask this question real quick. When you're in this predicament as the Raiders, right? You just won, scoring 63 points, and you need so many things to happen to make the playoffs, right? What is the best scenario for them when you're one of those teams that the feeling around the fan base and the organization is like, hey, maybe we are that superstar quarterback or that elite quarterback away from being a top contending team with the talent that we have, the way the defense is played. I mean, do you win out and do you try to make the playoffs, or do you or do you, this point forward, you just try to get the best draft pick? Like for the future of the team, I guess my question is, like, what is the best options? Like, what do you think is the best scenario?
So the best scenario number is in a couple different stages. So the best scenario is one that's immediately in front of you. So you have to beat the Chiefs, you have to win out, and you have to hope some way, somehow, that the Chiefs lose out. The easiest path to the playoffs is actually to win the AFC West.
Yeah, it's like, I think according to NFL.com or something like that, it's like if they win, they got a 7% chance. Right now they're at 2. If they lose, they got 1%.
With that, they play the scenarios that the Raiders want to get to the playoffs, man. We first have to win out, but then if we win out, we would need like 3 of the wild card teams to like lose the last 2 out of 3 games or something like that. So
it would be, and it's not just that they need to lose 2 out of 3. They need to lose them in a certain order.
yeah,
So one team will have to beat another team to lose to another team to win the last game to beat the other team that had to lose to another. That's why I said the easiest path would be to win out and have the Chiefs lose.
I see what you're saying. I mean, so at this point though, do you think the team, like, you think no matter what, if they win out their season and don't make the playoffs, like that's still good? They can just trade up to get a quarterback, or like I just like that's the spot that I'm asking. That seems tough as a fan, right? Because you never want your team to lose, but you know that you need a certain position filled for you guys to be great in the future, like all these other great teams. But you're in a spot right now where if you win out, you still have a chance to make the playoffs. So I'm like,
How close do you think this team is right now?
well, considering that I just checked this morning and we're the number, yeah, because I was gonna say, considering the fact that I just checked this morning and we're the 8th ranked defense in the NFL, I mean, you might be an offensive lineman or two and a quarterback away, bro.
if you look at what the Texans, what they were last year with Davis Mills, and then they get a different coach, D'Amico Ryans, and then they add in a rookie quarterback, and now they go from this 2-win team to this 8-win team that's on the verge of getting the playoffs. So
is that person there for the Raiders?
You guys want to hear something frightening? For everybody who and I'm still the one included in questioning the offensive line. The Raiders' offensive line rankings: they're 13th in adjusted line yards, 12th in pass block win rate, 14th in run block win rate, 10th in overall win rate, 6th in pressure rate allowed, 9th in sacks allowed, 4th in pass blocking efficiency, 9th in run blocking efficiency, 2nd in pressures allowed, 3rd in QB hits allowed, 6th in clean pocket rate, 3rd in average clean pocket time, which is time to pressure, 14th in contact behind line of scrimmage, 9th in second level blocking efficiency.
Including Thursday's game?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really, like I said, I've never really had a problem with the offensive line. I think when I said add an offensive lineman or two, I'm just saying in general, like offensively, like those are the only things that I can really think of that maybe you could do besides maybe adding another running back to go along and with Jacobs. But I mean, the way Zamir played, I don't know I think it was last week. I mean, he was doing okay. I mean, maybe he just needs to get more into a rhythm and more reps. I don't know, but I really do think that like the quarterback position is the main position, because there's no way you have an 8th ranked defense in the NFL and your team should be where it's at right now. It's just no way.
Yeah, I think with the offensive line, like Colton Miller has been solid, been like the solid foundation on that line. But majority of these problems that people are questioning with the offensive line for the Raiders is the interior, the center position, and the guards. Now we do have questions as far as a right tackle, but we do see the potential in Thayer Munford, and also when we get our quarterback, that we can address that in the future. But as far as like the Andre James, the Parham, and then you rotating like Van Roten, Meredith, and all those guys, those where most of the questions are popping up as far as if we need to improve in those 3 positions in the interior.
That's definitely where you're going to start looking. And then the other real strong question that you have to ask is Colt Miller worth $17 million? That he's getting hurt every year, and he's been a great Raider, and I'm not taking anything away from him. But is he worth $17 million? Especially when you saw what you got out of Thayer Munford.
Right.
No, he's not. I'll tell you right now. I'll answer that. He's not. And another thing, Phil, is that in his 2 or 3 starts in the NFL as a center, Dylan Parham's looked good as center.
He's
Yeah.
he a whole lot
So
better every time he played it. What we saw last weekend was I would like to see more of it to see if that is something that can be expected moving forward because there's a spatial awareness that he plays with at center that Andre James does not. And when you see stunts and guys come running back across and not getting picked up because James just couldn't get his head around to see him or had no idea they were there, Parham made those blocks. Parham helped where he was supposed to help. The line worked together, and that was I say was their best outing of the year by far. And
um
they didn't have a 100-yard rusher, but what everybody was able to do was flawless.
you brought up earlier, we was talking earlier about the salary back there at the quarterback position and what situation they could be in. A situation where they really got a cheap quarterback right now that's like I actually wonder where does he rank within rookie quarterbacks this season. I wonder where that's a good question. I never really thought about looking that up.
So at times his QBR is second to only CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud is the hands-on favorite of the runaway favorite of this year's draft class. Every time he's been in there, he's just been amazing. Now everybody else has gotten hurt. Now Will Levis has come on and made a better showing than what I thought that he'd be able to do. But ultimately he is who he is as well. But Aiden O'Connell has gotten better and better nearly every game that he played, with the exception of the Vikings game. And even still in that game, it wasn't all his fault. There a lot of the issues when they got down in the scoring position was on penalties, pre-snap penalties, and other stupid shit.
Yeah, I agree.
So
Me.
well, answer it this way. So if you're looking at this team from that standpoint, you like, could you afford to, or would you be patient enough to let O'Connell rock again another year and build some of the other pieces around on defense and on offense, or however you want to move it?
So here's the thing with O'Connell. I've said, and you all have heard me say this, and I'll continue to say it consistently. He is who he is. If your pass protection is as good as what I just named off, and you give him time to throw, he'll step into every throw. He'll go through the reads, and he'll deliver. He'll keep the chains moving and keep the offense in flow. If you have pass, if the pocket breaks down or guys don't get open right away, he is no threat whatsoever to run with the football. None. Everybody here, including my fat ass, is all faster than Aiden O'Connell.
No, I mean, you guys. I mean, I don't. Tell them we haven't even talked Raider football in a minute, but I know Whit and Phil know where I stand. Like I like Aiden. I do. I think he's getting better. I'm not so. I don't think he's a. I personally don't think, and he could prove me wrong, that he's a franchise quarterback. However, I do think that whoever we bring in next year, he could give them a run for their money for the starting job. I do, however, think that if he was the backup quarterback, in my eyes, he is possibly the best backup quarterback in football. I do think that the kid can get better. I do think that people forget that he's a rookie sometimes and not everything's going to be perfect. But I'll tell you this, I love the fight out of that kid because every play he gives it what he gives it. And he honestly, I was telling this to Phil. We would have probably been better off if we never even paid Jimmy and we just rolled with this kid. I don't think anybody expected this kid to make the improvements that he has or be a starter year one, but here we are, and he is getting better. So
I'm
Enough to
you're on mute, Phil.
enough to spend the money somewhere else for a while and let him rock again.
So I was going to say, just to address that point real quick, if you look at the win-loss percentage, he's rocking at about 500 right now. And so even if he rocked 500 for the entire season up till now, the Raiders would still be in the mix of the playoffs. They'd have roughly they'd have one or two less losses, and we'd be right in the thick of it. With this very same, and who knows, perhaps he would be further along in his development because you just rocked with him from the start, gave him every opportunity to rock with those with the weapons that we have, and got a chance to learn the system and whatnot. Because this is still Josh McDaniel's system. Bo Hart did not have time to come in here and install something completely different. So this is the same system, these are the same players that he's been working with since he got here, and this is what you see now. The defense is playing out of this world. Now they may rank as 8th right now, but let's remember, it was as recently as what, 5th, 6th week of the season they were down there in the bottom 20.
I think Phil, the lowest they've been ranked this season was 22nd, if I'm not mistaken. And then after the first couple weeks of the year, maybe after week 3, I think, or 4.
Yeah, it was after the Buffalo. It was after
They
Buffalo.
jumped up a couple weeks after that. They jumped up to about 17th or 16th, and then since AP took over, since AP took over, to be realistic with you, they've jumped about 6 or 7 spots in the rankings of defensively.
Yep. I mean, that's the thing though with the quarterback, bro, especially with Aiden. I feel like you get your franchise quarterback that the coaching staff wants, not McDaniels or Ziegler because they're out the door. Get your franchise quarterback in the first round because we haven't done that in a long time, and it's time for us to catch up. With the rest of the NFL, especially in the AFC. But this is like the discourse, K, that we see a lot when we talk in spaces. Even Phil, you hear it a lot too. It's like they do compare Aiden to like him being in the league a few years. Like he's still a rookie, and then people tend to forget that if we get another quarterback, that we have to get rid of Aiden or something like that. I'm like, bro, Aiden's still gonna be on the team, still on a rookie contract. But it'll be perfect to have 2 quarterbacks on a rookie contract for us to go spending, on the offense and defensive side. So I just feel like Aiden O'Connell is great for him to get these reps in right now and everything like that. But still, the one of the top needs is to get a quarterback.
Kev, I'm gonna have to disagree with you on this one. His anticipation on throws has been quite delightful, to say the least. Not being in sync with Adams in critical situations. Listen, it's not perfect. Could they be better? Yes, but I would actually like to see him come off of Adams faster and go to Myers on the backside. I would like to see them start to use all of their weapons in better ways to get everybody acclimated and part of the game plan. I saw somebody mention Renfro. You've seen what Tucker is able to do. Tucker is going to be a huge part of this offense moving forward. Humongous. If he's not, then your coaching staff is doing it wrong.
Yeah.
No, I agree 100%. I've been screaming that like the whole time, like since I saw Tucker since the beginning of the season, man. Like I've wanted Tucker to be a part of this offense, bro. I think he takes the top. He does. He takes the top off of defense. Not too many people are hanging with that kid. If he gets past the safety, he's gone.
Gone.
I mean, he's a burner.
I mean, go ahead, Phil.
I was gonna say you saw what he did to Derwin James on a deep over. I remember Derwin James came into the league as a freak fest fast as a safety, like ungodly fast safety, and he just straight ran away from it.
Yeah. Um, you know, when it's kind of hard, like, when you're a safety like that, you come off all those injuries, and and especially going with a wide receiver that's like 5'9" or 5'8", and it has like a little bend, in their routes and everything like that. You got to really break down and like have reaction with it. But I think uh, with Trey Tucker, we've seen what he can do when he gets the ball in his hand, when he gets the opportunities. But I think as far as in the future, though, you do have to start questioning, like, what is Hunter Renfro's future with the team, or like, and how is Trey gonna get the ball more as far as his future offense.
Yeah. Kev, I saw one of your comments. It didn't get put up yet, but like you said, he only connects with Tucker and Myers. But ever since Bo Hardigree took over, uh, Michael Mayer has been getting involved and doing really well, bro. Like the guy that I wanted to see in the first couple weeks of the season. And honestly, if they were using him how they're using him now, he would probably even be even better than what he is now. Now, granted, he had to get adjusted to the NFL speed and everything. There were some things that he was doing in the beginning of the season that he just wasn't acclimated to how fast the game is. I'll say that. But I mean, I would say he's doing pretty well now for
Yeah,
he's doing what he's supposed to be doing, and he's only going to get better. So I think Michael Mayer's doing well with Aiden and the new offense.
And even for what you've seen him be, the amount that he's been used being increased, he's still not being used enough. What what you I think probably the best indication of his use was the seam route that he ran right up the middle, and that he spun off two dudes to get to the 3 yard line. He didn't score. He got a first down. He caught tough yards in the red zone on a quick hitting route that attacked the defense where they were the weakest. And you can do that with him all the way down the field. And the more that you start to do that, the more that you start to pull those safeties away from your receivers. The more that people have to keep track of them when you run motions to the other side and cause the whole defense to flow away from him. He's got, I don't know what happened, but he's gotten a lot faster over the course of the season. He looked like a wounded turtle in the beginning, and now he's getting spaces. He's showcasing the speed, and he's out there looking like Wreck-It Ralph.
yeah,
Yeah, I got a question for you, Phil.
What's that?
Bo Hardigree.
Yes.
He's 6 weeks in, and people have been hard on him, and I feel like people don't take into a fact that he is running somebody else's offense. In a way, still. He just called his best game from the box. Now, if he sits up in the box in Kansas City and we have even remotely close to the same offensive game, even if it's 28 points, 35 points, and we put on a good offensive showing, do you think that, even if, and let's say we win, do you think if we beat the Chiefs, AP gets the job, but not only AP's getting his job, Bo Hardigree's staying right there where he's at?
Well, if AP gets the job, it's going to be up to him to select who he wants for his staff. That would be a very strong case for Bo Hardigree, very strong case to keep it together and all of that stuff. But there's a situation brewing in Washington. There's a situation. There's been a number set out in Detroit about Ben Johnson. You don't know what exactly you're going to have in terms of available offensive coordinators, but you have the opportunity to have Eric Bieniemy come in or whoever it is that that AP has got in mind. Because remember, LeVar Arrington said he's got a list of names and stuff ready to go already to bring this coaching staff in and turn this coaching staff into something that's gonna be that shit in the
Well,
good way.
well, then I guess I got another question for you. Then
All right.
I know this is neither here nor there right now because we don't even know if he got the job. But you look at guys like I'm pretty sure if I'm not mistaken, Marvin Lewis was at the game in Raider gear, right?
In the
Yeah.
booth.
I mean, does he fit in somewhere with this coaching staff if AP gets the job?
Probably
That's hard to
consultant.
say.
I mean, probably consultant or something like. I don't know.
Probably something like that. It'd really be a question of what is it that he wanted to do. And currently, he's a mentor. And if he's just going to shadow or be a coach's personal assistant, he can find any role on the staff to give him and just have him come in and watch what he does and manage. Like Rob Ryan. Because at this point, so is Rob Ryan having all the input, or is this Patrick Graham doing it? Because Rob Ryan's defense is like this.
I think though, like if AP is retained, the one person that he has to like solidify and lock in is Patrick Graham.
He's got to get paid. He's got to
Yeah.
get paid.
He gotta get
He got to get hit.
He deserves it. He deserves
He
it.
deserves
Yeah.
it. Well, I think we're all in agreement, right? If we beat the Chiefs in Kansas City, this is AP's job, right?
Yeah, I can say that. Yeah.
More or less. More or less. It not just him. Everybody gets to keep their job.
Oh, for sure.
But hard agree will be the question. But you and I have spoken about this, Cave. The difference from being on the sideline to the box, there's no reason why your offensive coordinator or your defensive coordinator should ever be on the sideline.
Speaking from experience.
Yeah. I mean, bro, you can see everything from the box.
Literally.
Yeah. Clearly.
I mean, you can call out what they're doing. I mean, you can see what formation their defense is in. You can know. I mean, you see all the best offensive teams doing it in the league. You don't see their coordinators on the field ever.
No.
Maybe for the first half, and then the second half they're in the booth. But most of the time they're in the booth the whole game.
Yeah. And don't let it be a north and south end zone view either, where they can literally see everything just spread out right in front of them in real time.
Yeah, man. Bo Hardigree call. I can't even complain about the game he called from the box Thursday, man. So I'm hoping his ass is right back in the box Monday versus Kansas City.
I'm looking at this comment that King Bolo said about quarterback first round and all defense outside of O-line depth. Just looking at last offseason, you'll think that was supposed to be the direction of last draft, but this draft you probably could see that going on. But depending on where we land as far as where we at as far as the draft order and everything like that, then you have to say that you probably have to move up to get your quarterback. But you still got free agency and everything like that. But I don't know. It's gonna be interesting though. AP gets his job because, like Nubian Queen said, that these are JMD's guys, even though they're performing well in interim roles. But these are JMD's guys, and you just got to take into consideration that AP might want to bring some of his personnel in too.
Hey, Rob, I got something for you.
What's that?
Everybody, including myself. I won't say everybody without including myself because I've said some things too. But everyone's complained about Tyree Wilson being the 7th overall pick and or 9th overall pick. What do we have? Where is he? 7th? 7th overall pick. and he's not being productive like people would like him to be right out the gate, you know. But guys like you and Jones said he's a raw talent. He's going to take some time. You guys told everybody that, but that doesn't mean everybody's going to listen. Uh, but Malcolm Kuntz has been good on the edge for us, bro.
Yes.
He's getting better. And Tyree gets moved inside, and you start to see him even do better. How would you feel about Tyree Wilson playing D tackle going forward, or maybe switching inside and out on different looks, and playing Kuntz on the edge more often than playing Tyree on the edge, but kind of switching Tyree back and forth from inside and out? I feel like inside he's getting a little bit more production than he is on the outside, but I think he's gotten better on the outside as well. So, how would you feel about him being like that versatile player that can do both?
So here's where it's going to get real interesting, and that's gonna be on what the team strength and conditioning coach Stanley Baptiste, I believe, is going to do with his body type. Now, as it stands, he's a lean 280, 280, 285. He could very easily move up to 290 and be an absolute terror as the defensive tackle. He's 6'6",
Yeah.
86 inch arms, 290, quick, very very abrasive at the point of attack, and he would be an absolute monster.
He,
Or or you could actually try to lean him out even more to and while building lean muscle and try to make him stronger and drop 10 pounds and come off and be that much faster coming off the edge at 270, but just being an absolute load whenever he makes contact, because his arms are still longer than just about everybody's that he plays. So if he strikes first, all that strength and aggression buckles the lineman. There's some push pull would be the greatest technique he could ever learn, because nobody should be able to touch him on any given play.
his build. I mean, and I watched the Colts and Steelers game. His build and his potential, the way we talk about him just standing the inside, kind of reminds me like a DeForest Button or Art Armstead. The way that how he's tall and then he has long arms and how he's built. Like I just feel like if we put him in the inside, like you said, lean him out, add more weight to him, that could be like his comp with DeForest or the way Arik is in San Francisco. If he develops the pass rush moves and continues to do what he does. But I agree with you, Cade, and also Phil as well. Like these past 2 weeks, he's been looking good, pretty solid in the middle.
Yeah, and Jalen, a lot of people, including myself, said Jalen Carter was like the pick at number 7, and honestly, that might be true. Who knows? But like, the thing is that outside of pressures, if you put their numbers together, Carter and Tyree, they're really identical. Carter is getting a lot more pressures than Tyree, I will say that. But if you look at like tackles, sacks, all the other numbers that go into everything, they're identical, bro. Go look them up. Nobody even talks about that, but it's true.
And not only that, let's be real. The Carter's seeing a lot of one-on-ones because of the talent that's around him on defense, on that defensive line.
Ace, to answer your question real quick, that was your boy Thayer Mumford.
Who locked up Khalil Mack on both sides. So I believe his name was Martin McCall, the guy that they signed off the streets this week. is supposed to be a humongous nose tackle,
Yeah.
and that's one of the things. In this particular style, that's what they need as two ginormous or even three ginormous guys plugging up the middle and letting the linebackers and the rest of the defense flow to the ball. I still believe that with the personnel that they have, whether you're using Tyree and on the inside or moving them to the outside, the wide nine is still going to be the best defensive front for this collection of talent.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. I'm actually interested to see that kid play because I actually heard he has a lot of upside. I do find it funny. And speaking on the defensive tackle room, that man Nesta Jade said what he said, and then he played that 1 week. He got benched the entire time, and then gets cut, bro. He says, "Shout out AP." He played 1 week and got benched the rest of the weeks, and then got cut, bro. Shout out AP.
Well, and they brought him back.
Yeah, practice squad.
They brought him back to the practice squad where he was at. So I mean, listen, Nesta Jade Silver is the human stalemate, bro. That you can count on that man to not give up an inch. He won't give up a single inch. The problem is he won't get you one either. So you see where he is on that line of scrimmage. I bet you $100 he'll be there at the end of the play.
No, I mean, I actually was I maybe I'm mistaken, but didn't he play well in that game that he finally suited up to? Or did he just
well?
play so?
Define what? So would be the exact definition of what I just gave you. The human stalemate. So Phil Jones is more than okay. Phil Jones is getting his money. He got him a little gig that's breaking him off proper. So he got to get his money on, and here at the Unfiltered Truth, his money is what's important.
Everybody's got to get their money. It's the holiday season, man. Take care of your families.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
But speaking of this game on Monday though, Phil, like what do you think the keys? Like going back and looking at the first Chiefs game, we started off strong, and then we just went off. What are the keys this game?
Don't ever take your foot off of their neck. Take your foot off the gas pedal. Don't ever think that you have enough points. To remain aggressive until the end of the game, till the final second is off the clock. Point number 2: never, ever allow Travis Kelce a free release and 8 yards of cushion off the ball.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I was going to tell you this too. I don't know if you guys saw what Jack Jones said, but I read the comments and people are like, "Oh, you have one good game and now you think you have this say." What he said wasn't talking shit. What he said is
it was absolute truth.
It was the truth. He said, "I'm not worried about the Chiefs. I'm worried about Patrick Mahomes. You stop the magician and the act ends." That ain't talking shit. That's a fact.
That's the truth.
That's a fact.
So the answer to your question, Charles, is what you're going to do. This will probably be a game that you see Wilson play more out wide than inside. So what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to be mush rushing and to keep contained and stay with the running back or stay with the linemen when they start moving, and be conscientious of that. And yes, the screen game is going to be dressed up and hard to stop. I understand that, but that's going to be the best use of it because the size of Max and the size of Wilson, 6'5" and 6'6", and with long arms, you can disrupt that, break that up, and slow it down, slow its effectiveness down. The wide receivers, they're nothing to be afraid of. None of them. It's not Shaheed. That's in New Orleans. The other dude they got, the new dude they got that's running all over the place. Rashid Rice. That one. But Watson and Scandling. That Isaiah Pacheco's coming back from injury. He's been literally the only threat they've had on the ground. And I don't know if you guys have been keeping count or paying attention, but everybody who seems to come back from injury to play the Raiders gets a play or two, a touch or two in, and promptly leaves the game.
You know, I wanted to ask you this real quick too. While we're talking about the defense a little bit, not to go too much off subject, but I wanted to ask you this. Oh my Lord. Hey Kev, you why you doing Jonesy like that, man? Oh,
Get him.
every 2 seconds, let me just do full Jones. Yeah, so what I was talking about.
Happy holidays, Dundee.
Happy holidays, buddy. Hey, no, but Robinson, what I wanted to ask you though is a guy that Meek started balling this year. I mean, Meek's always had his spurts, but he's done pretty well this year. Paul's done pretty well this year when he's played. Jack Jones is obviously in the corner room now, and I think he's going to honestly end up being a huge part of this defense. Hobbs, obviously. But what I'm getting at is you drafted Jacorian Bennett, and you haven't gotten the production out of him that you've probably wanted. But cornerback is a hard position to adapt to sometimes in the league. What do you see from him going forward? Do you think it's just going to take a year or two to get him developed and up to speed of this game? Or do you think, he doesn't fit into this defense? I mean, what do you make of Jacorian Bennett? Because that's a player that I've actually been wondering about. And I haven't gotten much opportunity to talk about it, but maybe you have some insight about it.
So the thing with Jacorian Bennett that he doesn't fit the application of your typical 8 to 9 yard cushion corner, not in this. I'd like to see what he could do against smaller, faster receivers in terms of man coverage. He's shown a knack for physicality for guys his size. He's not scared to stick his nose in the run game, but double moves, and being stuck out in space has just got it. I don't know if his brain is just short circuiting, but when you're sitting at 8 to 9 yards, when the receiver gets to you, you can't touch him. So he's reaching out to put hands on the receiver, which it should be called as a penalty. I'm saying, and getting beat when it comes to the breaks, and it just looks bad. I would prefer to see him up at the line of scrimmage, get his hands on guys, ride guys out through the release pause, and try to see what he can do in terms of that. Sometimes when you see guys that are struggling the way that he's struggling, it's an application issue more than it is a skills issue, and they're using him in ways that is just not good to his skill set. He's fast, he tackles. I gotta believe he gets his head around and he looks for the football. He just got to get out there, get more reps, and get in a position where he knows the defense. I think a lot of what goes on in Patrick Graham's defense is not necessarily traditional. You got this guy, he's got that guy. It's guys that have to trade off, like the first touchdown against the Chargers, where you see that Robertson gave the receiver over to the safety, only the safety wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, do you think it's I was just going to ask you real quick. Do you think it's another one of those? We've had Keyshawn Nixon, Tyler Hall, Nate Hobbs, you name them. The guys that all of our great slot corners, nickel corners. You think it's another situation where it's just like we got stuck with another guy who's going to be a great nickel corner? but he's just not meant for the outside in the NFL. Because that's been the whole thing with the Raiders, man. We've had some good corners, but they're good at what they do in the nickel.
Yeah,
They're
nickel.
not the greatest on the outside.
He's a match. So a lot of the guys that the Raiders have, in my personal opinion, are matchup guys. You have a select size guy, select speed guy, a select overall guy, a short guy, a couple short guys that are 195 pounds of pure dynamite, all 5'6.5" of them, and but you have a certain type of player to match up with a certain type of player. If you keep Jacorian Bennett on your smaller speed guys, he should be just fine with no problem, because that's the type of skill set he's familiar with countering. So if you're looking for a big physical guy, you keep Nate Hobbs on that guy, or Brandon Faison when he's in there, right? Or Jack Jones, now that you have Jack Jones, even though Jack Jones, I believe, does not break the 6-foot barrier either. I think he's 5'11".
5'11".
Yeah.
Yeah. So he doesn't break 6'2" either. But he's more of your all around guy.
Well,
I think as far as what we see Brandon Faison's trying to come back in the loop. As far as, could you see, Jack Jones balling, you still got Nate Hobbs and all these other guys too. But as far as Jacorian, I think give him another year before we actually try to, come up with conclusions as far as like what we might need to do with him in the future. But I think if we add one more guy to that room, like a solid guy, whether we get in a draft or we get in free agency, I think it'll probably solidify that room, depending on like where we're at right now as far as the defense.
so you're basically, Phil, what you're saying though, and I agree with you, Whit, by the way. Basically what you're saying is like last time we played the Chiefs, you saw them actually start to utilize Sky Moore a little bit. And so is that the type of receiver that you're talking about for Jacorian, where like he could match up with little Sky Moore, 5'9" or 5 foot, however tall he is?
Sky Moore, Rashee Rice, Kadarius Toney, those types of guys. That's Jacorian Bennett all over. Those are the types of guys that he should be matching up.
So you might see him play this week.
Huh?
So
Yeah.
you might actually see him this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. That's all I was wondering. No, for real. I hope Jacorian ends up being good for this team, man. I mean, I liked him in college, and I liked him when we drafted him too, out of Maryland. I liked him. I think he's going to be a little bit of a development guy that's going to take maybe a year or so, but that's good that I got another opinion on where he goes in this defense, because I hope he works out for us, because I think he's talented.
You want to know what's funny? Out of everybody that got drafted initially, he was the one that I expected the most from.
Yeah.
I remember that.
What up, boo?
So, Rob, do you think with the state of this deep, like we signed Epps to a 2-year deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, after his 2 years are up, do you expect Chris Smith to step into his role?
No.
I don't know, because like we don't have tape on him for real. I mean, besides preseason.
Yeah, I mean, so here's the deal. So check me out. You're talking about the number 8 overall defense. The reason why your rookies haven't got on the field is because the starters and the guys and the second stringers are playing well enough to make it so that they don't have to. The Chris Smith being on the bench because Timo has been playing the way that he was supposed to be playing when he got drafted as high as he got drafted. Marcus Epps just came from the Super Bowl, literally.
Yeah.
They haven't given up a touchdown together since week 3 and 5, individually. That was the last time they gave up touchdowns. And so they're playing out of their mind. That there's no reason to give somebody else their job when they're playing this well. That's just not what you want to do. Now, if you can, from the money that you're saving and getting rid of Jimmy and Brian Hoyer, let's say that you do go out and draft a college quarterback. You've now got your first and second string QBs on rookie deals, and you're paying them still together less than what you would have been paying Jimmy by himself. And so take that extra money and invest in defense, which was already playing legit football, and with more money and more talent, they're only going to be better.
Yeah, I think as far as last year, we saw the blueprint they're working with as far as all season. They try to get more depth guys and try to get guys to just fit their scheme as far as like quarterback play. But the way that, especially the defense, the way that they've been playing this year, I think that you just try to get, some guys, especially in free agency, that possibly can just add on like one or two pieces before you go in the draft and try to solidify that offense, whether that's a D tackle or a linebacker or a corner or something like that. But getting one or two of those guys, since you are like coming into the off season saying that we're going to get our quarterback in the draft, and we already have a quarterback on a rookie contract already, and you offloading Jimmy and Brian Hoyer, those guys like that. You see what the team has done this season as far as defense and their progression, and the offense with Aiden. After McDaniels and those left, like now it's the time for this coming on season to say like, hey, it's time for us to make a run. Like we have the potential to be in the running for the AFC West title, and also make a run in the playoffs. So it's time for us to,
Well, I think as a fan of the Raiders, man, like this offseason is actually something to be excited about in a way.
Right.
Because you know what you have with Aiden O'Connell. He's on a rookie deal. So worst comes to worst, that's what you're stuck with. Worst case scenario. So in free agency, we can go and do other things. We're not going to spend half our cap money on some BS. You're going to probably go to free agency and have a whole different outlook than what you had last year.
Right.
And I actually believe, I know he hasn't been a full-time GM yet, but I actually believe in Champ Kelly. Something's told me this for 3 years, that the first time we were in the running for a GM, that this was probably the guy that we should have hired, or at least one of them. So I have faith in that guy. So I think free agency is going to be huge for the Raiders this year. And then also I think we're 10th in the league in cap space. I think we're sitting at like 40 mil, and then with whatever cuts. And then, obviously the draft. I think Champ Kelly's always done well. Every organization that he's been a part of has done well with drafting, especially defensively. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
I'm really excited about what's about to happen to this defense. I've looked at what Charles was saying about AP, what Patrick Graham has been able to put together. It's funny. I remember when we were talking about Ivy League defense. Ivy League defense looks pretty damn good right now, doesn't it? Looks like this smart, competent brother is out here out scheming the hell out of this offense, and they don't know what's coming or how. I like Patrick Graham up against the Chiefs offense. I always have. Even going back, if you really want to go push back the hands of times, go back and watch tapes of how the New York Giants played the Kansas City Chiefs. And in their heyday in the Super Bowl years, they were holding them to around 20 points. And so it's a really interesting battle that's going to take place. And without wide receivers, because make no mistake, Patrick Mahomes, his numbers may be down, but he has not fallen off by any stretch of the imagination.
Right.
His receivers have been the largest collection of ass cheeks and shit I've ever seen in my life.
Right.
They
Rasheed Rice
are.
is coming around though. Rasheed Rice is coming around. I'll say
Rasheed
that.
Rice is a dog. He's a dog.
He's coming. He's coming. I'll give him that. But for Bo, it's week 15, week 16 now.
Yeah, 16.
And for this entire season, his wide receivers have done nothing but drop balls all year long, wide
Hey,
open. Drop.
Queen Raider, put that comment up, Phil. The AOC comment. Hey,
AOC actually outplayed him when they played in Vegas with a higher QBR rating. In fact, his QBR rating was the highest in the league in that
he's not a third string quarterback. In fact, I've been saying this, and I don't know if you were in the show earlier, but I've been preaching this. If we had a starting quarterback in the draft and he was the second string quarterback, I truly believe he is the best, or if not the best, the second best backup in the league. I think he is. That's my opinion. I don't think he's a third string quarterback at all, actually. I think he's outplayed every single bit of what any of us thought he was going to be. And I'll give him that. And he's getting better. So like I said, I don't know about a franchise quarterback. However, third string quarterback, no.
Thank you, Eric. Appreciate that. Third round. No, he was the fourth round.
Oh yeah, fourth.
How much say do y'all think Champ Kelly had in drafting or free agency? He had a consultant role. He had names. He had a high ranking opinion, but he had ultimately no say. And so this will be different because a lot of the personnel changes that needed to be made and didn't get made were things that he was a proponent of that got hung up by the head coach who had to have his guy the way that he wanted them, and so forth.
Yeah. Not to mention, when he got this job, the interim job, not much Champ can really do in terms of, he trade deadline passed. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot he could do. But the one thing he did do was go and get Jack Jones, and I would already say that was an A. I think Jack Jones is going to be phenomenal.
It was sporadic.
Go ahead, Whit, and I'll follow.
No, I was just saying he was proactive. I mean, when we had that shortage on linebacker that 1 week, I mean, he brought in Jalen Smith. I mean, the snaps that he was in, Jalen Smith was solid. But I mean, we see what he's done as far as, like Kate said, bringing in Jack Jones. He brought his McNeil kid. We got to wait and see what he does. But I mean, he's been making some minor moves. Have been solid. But hopefully we get to see the big picture this all season. Once that interim once that interim slot is lifted off of him, he gets the general manager slot. So we'll see.
I would be the Raiders here, Mr. Wallace. This is Raider Nation all day, every day, twice on Sunday around here.
What were you going to say though, Phil?
So what I was going to say was you had made a comment about how much Champ was going to be able to do. So going back to the article that on the interview Tayshaun did with Mark Davis, he chose to give Champ the job after the trade deadline, specifically to see what he could do to improve the roster on a week-to-week basis without having the benefit of being able to trade. So he had to dive through tape. He had to do his due diligence, and find a way to make the team better week after week. And so far, he's done just that. And while you could say about what type of trades would he make and what can he do in this situation, in the situation that he's currently facing himself in, with his hands tied behind his back, somebody else's roster, we could go down the list of all of the adverse conditions that he's taken the job under. He's performing admirably. The defense is getting better exponentially week to week. At this point, I don't know what I'm going to see from the defense. it used to be, oh my God, we're playing this team. I hope such and such is hurt, and I hope such and such has the unlucky horseshoe game, and woo woo woo. This defense is capable of shutting down anyone. Anyone.
Right.
Does not matter who.
The only thing that you need to do from this point on with the defense, if they're going to play this good, is just add more and more depth to it. That's it. I mean, realistically, I see fans every week saying, well, this is a one-year wonder and da-da-da-da-da. No. This is a guy who's coaching his ass off with what he has and making the best of it. And why fix what isn't broke? It's not broke. It's top 10 in the damn league.
It's always room for improvement, though, Cade. I mean,
of course.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we need some more dog.
Man, we just gonna have to put him out like that. You're talking about top 10. There's always some room for improvement. That's really where you went with that. I'm not trying to hear that shit, man. You better take that shit on up the street, bruh. Look, you lucky you still on the feed. But
oh man, Whit, bro. He gonna talk about a top 8 defense like that.
Yes, there's always room for improvement. When was the last fucking time you saw a top 10 defense?
Oh man,
here, I'll make that easy for you. 2006.
You know what though, Whit? You're right. There is always room for improvement somewhere on any team, even the best team.
Yep.
But like I said, the main improvement that they need to make to this defense and this offense is just keep adding depth to it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Add players, add some dogs. I'm not saying like they need to be top 5, top
wholesale changes.
I'm just saying, man, just get some more dogs. Let's get some more dogs. Shit, let's be greedy. Shit.
6'2" press corners.
I can agree with that. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and disagree that we could add more talent to the team. I'm not going to sit there and say that. But I'm going to be grateful as hell that we are 8th ranked in the league.
Oh, yeah.
When we haven't had that in 17 years?
Almost 20 years. And I just enjoy watching it. I just look at this and just think, like, this is actually my defense. Like, at the rate they're progressing, next year they should have a name.
Yeah.
Not only are they the 8th ranked defense, just to add on top of it, they're the 8th ranked defense in a league that is the most offensive league this league has ever been. Like, this league is solely built on just offense. Everybody's scoring tons of points. There's elite quarterbacks all over, especially on the AFC side of things, and they're 8th ranked. I'm not complaining about that.
Overall, not just in the AFC, overall.
Yeah, no, overall. No, if they were 8th ranked in the AFC, we'd have problems. Overall.
Yeah. But it's just a testament to the job that they've done, the belief they've had in each other, the way that they've grown, the way that they're being coached. Because it shows that it's clearly about coaching. They got a coach who was able to communicate the scheme, get guys in that he knew could do it, work with them, and put out a product that is elite. And we'll call it what it is. The Raiders have an elite defense.
Yeah, and I need to apologize to Patrick Graham because the first 5 weeks of the season, I was about ready to say he needs to go.
I was about to say 5.
I was sick of every single coach on this staff, and I was ready for him to pack his bags and go with him. But I was wrong. I admit, when I'm wrong, I'll admit it, bro. I was wrong. This dude is a great coach. Great. Because what he's working with, if you just put our defense on paper at the beginning of the season and tell an NFL fan, what do you think this defensive ranks? Nobody's saying top
It'll be
10.
top 10.
Yeah.
Nobody.
It's not going to be the top. So, Boyd, this is where I'd have to disagree with you. RD did shut down the Chiefs. What happened was the scheme that was applied was one to ensure that the Chiefs did not get behind them and pop off big play. If you go back and you look at the stats, the Raiders are one of the lowest teams in terms of explosive plays against in the passing game all season long, because nobody gets behind the shell cover. The flip side to that is that they give up 8 to 9 yards religiously underneath, because nobody's playing inside of the first down marker in pass cover. And so your teams, if your smart teams, are going to take those 8-9 yards, maybe shrink it down to 7 and go 7 yards straight down the field and score. Everybody can't do that, because once you get in the red zone, then they tighten up, and then they have to play regular offense against regular defense, and you'll see what happens. They also gave up momentum. Did they not shut them down? Ultimately, you're right, they didn't shut them down, but the Chiefs took advantage of what it was that the Raiders were giving. So they weren't if you're told to give them 10 yards, there's only so much you can do when you're giving them 10 yards.
Phil, I don't know how much time you have us on here tonight, but I wanted to ask you this question about our quarterback situation. I know we talked about it earlier, and I forgot to ask you this. Raiders went out. Everything happens that they need to happen to make the playoffs, or if we don't make the playoffs regardless, and we don't end up with the top 10. If we went out, we're probably not a top 10 pick, but middle of the pack pick. The Bears draft Caleb Williams and now are looking for Justin Fields to go somewhere else, to trade Justin Fields. If they tell the Raiders a second and a fifth, would you take Justin Fields and then draft the best defensive player available or offensive lineman or something else in the first round? Or is that something where you're like, I'd rather just trade up and go get our guy? But also, Justin Fields is only, I think, 24 years old. And let's be honest, everyone blames Justin Fields for everything in Chicago, but his receivers don't hang on to the football. And I could pull up 15, 20 clips from this year alone that will tell you what I just said is a fact.
Their offensive line is so bad they traded for Alex Leatherwood help.
I mean, the thing about it is that you got to pay Justin Fields eventually.
No, you don't.
Eventually.
Well, no, you don't, because he doesn't have the stats to back that up.
Yeah, if he does get paid, it's not going to be like –
It'll be because he came over and started tearing shit up. In
yeah,
which case,
if he does get paid,
shit up, he should get paid.
Yeah, and if he does get paid, it's not going to be like that $250 to $300 million contract.
Oh yeah, no, not like that. But I mean,
but I'm just wondering if that's something that you would be opposed to or not opposed to.
So as of now, the Bears intend to keep him on the roster because of the reasons that you mentioned, and that it's not necessarily his fault. In the event that they do and they draft another position as at the number 1 pick, the pick all along that I've targeted as the most available pick is their second, the one that's their actual pick that was 5th, that I think is slid down to 7th or something because because they start So if they go back to losing, that pick will slide back up ultimately to around 5, maybe 4. And if they don't draft a quarterback with the first overall pick, then you can go up and get whatever you need. At that, you're gonna get one. You're gonna get one of Caleb Williams, Drake May, or Jaden Daniels.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I was just wondering if we went out and we couldn't find a trade up for a quarterback, if that would be something that would be an option, would it be go get Justin Fields? It seems like the most available option to get that of a quarterback that's in the league right now that could probably, help turn this thing around offensively, maybe.
Kirk Cousins is available this offseason.
Do you want Kirk, though?
No,
I'd rather have Fields over Kirk because he can move.
I would too.
Yeah.
I think that Fields could do great things with this offense or with this player group, because this offense won't, no matter who it is that comes in the quarterback, this offense won't be the same. And
Yeah.
I think that will, if you can get something that's better for the players on this offense, for them to, and not something that's so difficult for them to execute fully all the time. And I get it, they're professionals, they should be able to do this, but shit happens in the NFL, and everybody will tell you that it's a hard league to play in. Those guys on the other side get paid just as much as they do.
Ace, I see your comment down there, bro. I just want to say this. If Caleb Williams found his way to the dark side, brother, there is no crying in mommy's arms. You're a Raider. That's not the Raider way. We don't cry in mommy's arms on national television for the world to see.
Yeah, you take that shit to the locker room or at home.
But with that being said, he is very talented.
A lot of hero ball, though. A lot of hero ball.
Yeah, and however, I do have a little bit of – I have my questions about Caleb just because of the simple fact of, like, his surrounding circle, like his dad telling him, like, you're not – if we don't get this, we're going to go back to SC. We want ownership in the team. When you haven't played it down in the NFL and haven't even earned respect in the NFL and you're already doing that shit, it does make me question it a little bit. But as far as his talent, the kid is – I like him. He's a baller. But Phil knows everything about Caleb more than me because he's the SC fan over here. Whit, too, I think.
I would say that a lot of that is window dressing. A lot of times you hear stuff get mentioned that never actually got said as we throw dirt on the names and spit on people to try to get them slide down to 1 or 2 draft positions so that they can get someplace where they can be got. Heading into this draft, there's out of your top 5, your 2 picks that are available to get moved on is going to be Arizona and Chicago. Those are going to be the 2 picks you're going to be able to get.
Arizona's going to do business with us.
Yeah, the Giants are picking whoever it is that they're going to pick it for. Everybody's talking about they want to draft a quarterback, and in reality, they need an offensive line and more receivers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't even have a good receiver.
At this point, what they really need to do is they need to draft Brock Bowers.
Yeah, I mean, they could do that. I mean, to be honest with you, yeah, everything honestly you said is true. I can't even argue. They need offensive line help and they need receivers because, I mean, their best receiver is a guy that they drafted in the 2nd or 3rd round this past year, Hyatt, probably.
Their best receiver is never on the field because he's always nursing a hurt hamstring and beats feet.
Yeah. Who is it? Slayton?
Sterling.
Is that it?
Sterling Shepard.
Baller.
Baller. Yeah, but that fucking guy never plays. Hey, he left the Raiders and did the same shit.
And the quarterback's best friend is supposed to be the tight end, and he got that extra stickum on his fingertip. So you would think he'd be a shoo-in to catch absolutely everything.
Yeah. No, I mean they have another kid that's pretty solid too. If they could use him correctly, I think his name's Isaiah Hodgins.
Yeah, they got Hodgins, they got Wan'Dale Robinson. Still got Slayton, but
they got to find ways to use Wan'Dale Robinson though. He's 5'8".
Yeah.
Hey, if you want to, KB, the link should still be good. You can pop in.
KB.
Bro, who are you telling? Listen. Whether he watched it, if he watched this broadcast, I probably have a job with the Raiders. I can tell you that right.
Robinson is
He would know that he needed your boy Robinson over here to get him right, and I'd be there for him.
yeah, everybody in this show right now, and I'm not even trying to take over Phil's show, but I'm just telling you, man, Robinson and Jones are the two most, I'll just say the word, the two most underrated NFL/Raiders media members in the game. Because whether people want to admit it or not, these two dudes have been right for the last 4 years about everything they've said. Maybe one or two here, the things that they've heard or got didn't exactly happen, but for the most part, it was done. They said Josh McDaniels was the head coach of this football team before anybody. That's just one of the things, but I mean they're on point, bro. They don't just come out here spilling facts or spilling stuff to you guys for you guys to just get all hyped up and everything like that. No, they're telling the truth, man. Like they know the shit, bro. I'm telling you, these guys are very underrated in what they do, man.
I appreciate you. Thank you. We do what we do because you guys deserve better. We've been told shit was all gravy. We've been told that shit was beautiful when it wasn't. And when, like King Polo said, when you need that unfiltered truth for that ass, because you can only get pissed on your head so long and have it called rain before you wonder why shit smells and it's hot.
Joel, I'll answer that question. And Robinson would agree. Bo Nix.
Yeah.
That smirk on his face.
He said it.
Ass. Ass.
Ooh, he got George Pickens on his team, and he's wasted.
You know what's the sad part about the whole Kenny Pickett thing?
And Deontay Johnson, and he's
He
wasted.
better not be the reason that my man Mike Tomlin gets fired.
He will be.
You know it's on the way. You know it's on the way.
He will be.
I'm gonna keep it to you guys straight. I'm rooting for AP all the way. But I would take Mike Tomlin in a heartbeat. I don't think he's ever had an under 500 season as the Steelers head coach.
This might be his first season,
With
but
the talent he's had, even with Pickett.
No.
You wouldn't take him?
This is a uniquely tailored situation for AP. If it was a standard situation where they're both coming into the job on equal footing with not one of them being an interim coach, absolutely hands down, no question. Give me Mike Tomlin, give me Eric B, give me Patrick Graham, and we're running it as is from there. But because AP is who he is, has been a member of this organization already, grew up Raider, all the backstory information, just the way that he carries himself and comes across, the swag he's got when he's hitting the events with the starter jackets you can't even find online. Like this man is destined to be the Raiders coach. And if he's not the Raiders coach, somewhere we have fucked up. And a lot of people say, "Oh well, you got to interview and do the best possible thing." But sometimes there's a situation. It goes back to what I've said. Your team chooses its leader. The team has chosen its leader. If you don't respect the team's decision, there'll be problems.
Well, then let me rephrase that thing. If the team decided not to go with AP and Tomlin got fired, that would be the guy that I would be like, I want him. If that was the case. I am rooting for AP. You guys all know that. I think he just speaks great.
I would certainly love to have Mike Tomlin. The one knock on Tomlin that I've heard is Tomlin has a scholarship program as well. And if you're in Tomlin's scholarship program, you can do no wrong.
I don't know who would be in that program with this team he's got now outside of Watt and Hayward and Minka.
So
Maybe high school.
You went from I don't know who to you just named off 4 guys and didn't even go with Hayward. Yeah.
Okay. I guess offensively, I don't know who would be in that circle.
You have a real problem. You have a real problem when you have multiple receivers walking on the field and not blocking.
Yeah.
You have a real problem.
Well, I'll answer that question. Get Pickett out of there. Everybody told y'all he was
Pickett wasn't on the field. Pickett wasn't on the field when Pickens did it.
Oh, that's right. Trubisky was playing. But, I mean, let's be real, though, man. Pittsburgh hasn't had a good quarterback in a while. I mean,
they haven't had a good quarterback since, I think,
Ben.
years before Big Ben.
And that's the problem. That's the problem. No, they could have had one, but they decided to just keep rolling out Big Ben every year as soon as he kept getting. Yeah. So, I mean,
which goes back to your point. That's probably a guy that was in that circle.
But that's not. Again, that goes back to your head coach not being the guy that's not his job to draft a quarterback.
No, you're right. I think I was going to say, I just think that they saw Pickett and they saw he's from Pitt and they wanted that success story. Pittsburgh, drafted by Pittsburgh, and they wanted that success story, and that shit is failing miserably.
Dan Marino should have been a steal.
I mean, God rest his soul, but Dwayne Haskins may have probably been the guy. But you know,
man, we can go that with the Raiders all day long, Phil.
Yeah,
better offense, better coaching. That the skill was there.
Yeah, most definitely.
But it is what it is.
Oh shoot, I didn't even see your comment, Ace. Derek Carr Jr., huh? Could say that. Who knows? Maybe he comes out and he just balls, makes us look like fools. But
Mike Penix is too old. He's no older than the quarterback we have right now.
It's not even the fact that you can talk about his age. It's just his injury history, man.
The knees, and I love everything about his game, but when I watch his delivery, his looping left-handed delivery fright.
Yeah, and this is injury chart, man. Like from 18 to 21, he got injured every year, and then 22, 23. I mean, he had no injuries, but
he's still wearing that knee brace.
He's still wearing that knee brace too. I did peep that. I did peep that. I said, I don't know.
I'm surprised that a guy that nobody talks about out of this whole quarterback class that I just like, who knows if he'll be shit in the NFL, but I'm just talking like his tape. I like it. Is Cam Ward, bro.
Cam Ward
he's not coming out.
He's not coming out.
Oh, he's not?
No. Cam Ward was my absolute red circle sleeper in this draft. That was my absolute ace in the hole up the sleeve that I would have sat on the first round and let those quarterbacks go and got my whatever it was premier guy that you were going to get in the first round and who moved up to get him either in the back end of the first or earlier in the second.
Yeah.
Cam Ward was my guy.
You get your big. I love that D tackle from Illinois. But like,
Newton.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, Zeron Newton.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was gonna say, you know who got really screwed up by getting injured in a bowl game, man? I was kind of starting. I wasn't fully on him, but I thought he could be okay. But it was Cam Rising.
Oh,
he got hurt in that bowl game. He's going to go back to Utah, I think, again this year because he didn't play this past year from his knee injury. And when he gets drafted, bro, he's going to be like 26, bro.
30? Shit.
He's 24 right now, but the start of next season. So by the time he gets drafted, 26 years old, bro.
Brandon Whedon Jr.
That's why these guys don't play. That's why a lot of these guys opt out of bowl games.
Well, not only that, but I mean, let's be honest. How much money is Utah really paying? But if he was to try to come out now, he'd be undrafted. His best year to come out would have been last year after they won the Pac-12 championship.
Yeah,
that's when he should have come out.
And did he get hurt in that championship game, or did he get hurt in the bowl game?
I believe he got hurt in the bowl game. He made it out. He made it out of the championship game, and he was all right. He took a hell of a hit. Like, we heard that shit all the way up in the press box. That shit was hell loud. That's when I went with Tone.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I was thinking. I didn't think he got hurt against SC in the championship game. I thought it was the bowl game. Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I really screwed that kid up, bro. Yeah, I'm excited for this draft class, though. Either way, man, I think there's a lot of talent in it this year, to be honest with you. I think tons of talent. And I think that what better year for Champ Kelly to come and have his coming out party, baby. Let's go.
That's the question, KB. It's really going to come down to how does the draft fall. Who's going to coach the Pats, and do the Pats have to have Drake May? They got to have Drake May. You're now looking at your first quarterback went to New England. The Bears are drafting either offensive line or another wide receiver, which they should. And then Arizona doesn't need a quarterback. The Giants don't need a quarterback. They got a starter and a backup. And so it really comes down to which quarterback is going to be selected at 2, or if anybody's going to try to move up and get a guy. I prefer Daniels out of the bunch. I think that Caleb Williams has some blitz recognition issues that are going to be problematic for him at this level.
Well, Rob, I was going to ask you, if you trade up into the top 5 and you got your choice between Daniels and Drake May, who do you choose? I like them both. I like Jaden Daniels because of his ability to move and do certain things that Drake may not be able to do. But Drake can move too, but not like Daniels. But, I mean, he can move. But, I mean, who would you pick out of those two just based on talent? Or how it fits in the NFL?
Daniels. So check out what Daniels was able to do. So real quietly, unbeknownst to a lot of people who are not hip to the game, the Dino has become the area that quarterbacks are being produced from left and right. Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Jaden Daniels. You're now talking about elite level quarterbacks. Jaden Daniels started in the Pac-12, went from the Pac-12 to the SEC, dominated the SEC, became the player of the year in a year where his team still lost 3 games and didn't make it to the conference championship. He's beaten Alabama. He's beaten all the top teams. The competition level for him as he stepped up in weight class has gotten easier for him. He had a harder time at Arizona State than he did at LSU. And so if he's able to continue to grow, that means that he has yet to reach his ceiling. And with the skill set that he has, the accuracy in his passing, the size, the speed, to be able to make something happen when the plays if him and Aiden O'Connell are both 6'3", 6'4", if you line them up side by side, there's no comparison as to who's the better quarterback. One look will tell you.
Yeah.
You want to rebuttal that with? I see you thinking. Mute.
I was thinking about something else, man. So just came in my
But-
mind. I just think about something else. My fault.
Yeah, but there is when the play breaks down, that's when the comparison is over. Aiden O'Connell is not a superstar.
I'll say this. I'd be happy if we drafted Jaden Daniels to my favorite team, because not only is he a stud and he can do it, but he's from where I'm from, the IE, baby, the Inland Empire, San Bernardino. Let's go. Just like Stroud, Rancho Cucamonga.
Yes. Fuck them picks.
Yeah, fuck him.
Fuck them picks. If your quarterback situation is going to be cemented for the next 10 years because you gave up multiple first and seconds to go get him now, fuck them picks.
Not to mention a lot of talent comes out of the mid rounds, especially defensive talent. It comes in the middle rounds. I mean, we got probably, if not the best defensive end in the league, one of them in the 4th round. I mean, fuck those picks. Exactly what Phil said.
Listen, bro, you need to go somewhere with that old shit, bro. You starting to get on my nerve with all this hate you doing. I'm just letting you know.
Who is this man?
That's Compton Chris.
King Bolo?
Yeah.
Okay.
with all this hate in his heart, sound like Richardson came in with a new burner, but
Ain't no Connell.
yeah. So but you're in the Vegas market. They need a superstar quarterback, and let's be honest. No matter how good Aiden plays, he's not going to be able to handle being a superstar and in the spotlight. Like that's not who he is. You have to have a certain type of personality and persona to be the guy at this level. And yes, he can be good on the field, and everybody, it matters what he does on the field, not out there in cameras. No, this NFL is a business, and if he's not out there in the forefront of everything, you are losing money. Look at what the league has done with Patrick Mahomes. That man can't take a shit without the camera being outside of his stall asking him, was it the greatest shit he took this week or something crazy like that. He said Rich got the Christmas Day slander.
Hey, about to start hating.
About to start hating on Santa. That motherfucker camped out on the roof by the chimney waiting for Santa to show up. Talking about, hey homie, where you from?
Hey Rob, you're gonna have to give him the Cade treatment, baby. The timeout for 5 minutes.
Man,
hey, personal foul.
Rich, bro.
Hey,
I tell you.
I can't even tell you how many times, man, I came in there and said some crazy stuff in the comments, and it was, if Rob gave me the personal foul, 15 yards, 5-minute timeout.
So you need to go somewhere with all of that.
Nah, man, I'm excited for this Chiefs game, though, man. I think we can beat them.
I know we can beat them. I know we can beat them. They lost momentum. Let them up off the mat, and they blinked. The last I want to say the majority of times that the Raiders have played the Chiefs, probably in the last 2 to 3 years, they've beaten themselves. They've had the Chiefs right where they wanted them in multiple situations, and in critical circumstances, blew. Not so much as the Chiefs beat them, but they were able to outlast them and not make the mistakes that the Raiders.
No, I agree. Even the last game, man. Like the biggest problem with the last game is we just took our foot off the pedal, man. Like we started so strong, and we just didn't keep the consistency putting together the offensive drives that we did in the first couple drives, and it killed us, man. You can't do that against this team. Pat Mahomes will always do whatever it takes to keep his team in the game, and if you let your foot off the pedal, you know, he'll find his way back into the game. You got to just stomp his throat.
And keep stomping it. Just go ahead and grind it all the way in the dust and make sure you strangle the life out of that man for 60 minutes. Then when the game is over, then you can thank him for a game well played and see him next year.
KB, that is nothing but the truth.
So the unfiltered truth, so help me God.
Yeah, man.
Like, look, even Hefe came back after multiple trips to the shadow realm.
Hefe, I forgot about Hefe.
I'm actually surprised I haven't seen him yet. I saw him on a bunch of other shit, but on the Chargers week, but I haven't seen him yet. He's probably asleep right now. So where would I add more depth to this defense? Everywhere. Linebacker would be the start. Defensive tackle would be next. Then defensive end.
Get you another safety, just cause another corner. The mainly linebacker.
I would develop Palomau. I wouldn't go get another safety. I continue to develop Palomau. I think that if in the event that something happens, you'd be looking at a Chris Smith Palomau combination. Which I'd be okay with, but at the same time, Palomau's contract should be coming up pretty soon. This man wants to trade Devontae Adams. He said it right there.
I think the only way you can trade Devontae Adams is if another team eats the money and you get a first-round pick at least for him. Other than that, I don't think the team can afford to eat his contract, man.
Yeah.
What do you think, Phil?
So for starters, you don't trade him. If you're gonna get another quarterback, then the situation is as ideal as it can be with him on the team. Personally, I think that the wide receiving core maybe could use one more if you're not gonna get it. Like if you're not gonna get the most out of Rem. And KB just brought that up. Yes, you did, KB. You lying sack of shit. You said you wanted to trade Devontae Adams. Stop trying to clean it up now. But what are you going to trade Hunter Renfrow for? A half-eaten pretzel, bro? Nobody wants Hunter Renfrow. Yeah.
Most I got.
To be honest with you, the Raiders just need to figure out a way to get him back involved into the offense in ways that he can go back to doing what he was kind of doing in like the Gruden offense in a way. But like, if you really break down like the film and stuff, to me anyway, it looks like he's getting double teamed. Like they're completely taking him out the game. What do you think, Phil?
I'm throwing narratives on KB's name, just taking him straight through the mud and putting all types of dirt and lack of respect.
Hey, KB. Holding on KB, 10-minute timeout.
Yeah, look, bro, we had to throw a personal foul for having the audacity to go to a barbecue place with no sauce. I don't know where he's from and what they do about barbecue and wherever it is that he lives. Some backwood place, it must be.
Bro, Kenny tried to say that shit looked fire too. Hey, Kenny, hold it, bro. That's not a personal foul, bro. That's a suspended indefinitely.
Yeah, that is an atrocity against mankind.
Oh shit, that is hilarious.
Nothing but stomach queasiness and bubbling.
Look like some Harry was whipping up in the kitchen. Hey, KB, you was getting the Harry special.
Ooh.
Oof.
Bro, you're laughing, bro. Honestly, his shit looked like that's about what it looked like too. Like he was eating my hair, but it was grayer. It looked like somebody boiled his pulled pork sandwich, bro. That shit was the most saddest, defeatedest looking thing I've ever seen in my life. Oh,
Man,
like,
shit
bro,
ain't so
his
bad.
sandwich was so bad. His sandwich was so bad that I would have looked at it and just wrapped that shit back up and handed it back to the person and let him keep my money and just walked out.
He like just fold the plate over in the trash can, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, KB, I felt so bad for you. I thought about overnight shipping you some Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce, bro. At least so you could get something in there, dude.
Look, you'd have had to hard boil the Sweet Baby, the pulled pork in the Sweet Baby Ray's to get that dry ass meat and flavor. That shit looked all kinds of bad. You know when you show some shit to your square ass friends that you could look at them and tell they don't use no seasoning, and they look at that shit and say that shit look like it needs some help. I thought for sure my buddy Justin, who went to the rib place that Randy Moss said he wouldn't feed his dogs their ribs.
Hey, KB, that shit looked worse. That shit looked worse than Jones's analysis on Kenny Pickett. That's how bad that shit looked. That shit looked dry as I mean, dude, I'm white. I couldn't even eat that. Like, and you're talking to a white kid that'll make himself some Kraft mac and cheese and eat white people food all day long, but that dry ass fucking meat, bro, I'd have laughed at that service. Hell,
Like, I'm sorry, what is this? That's not how it looked in the picture.
Yeah, well.
That's not how it looked in the. I was the victim in bed. They gave your ass a hate crime. They gave.
I had to fight all my life.
Fight for my life.
All my life, I had to fight. Hold on. Time out.
Whoa! 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 Then we can turn.
oh hell nah. Bro, I don't think I've laughed this much at the comment section.
The restaurant has 4.6 stars. Explain it to me.
Bro, I don't think I've laughed this much at the comment section since Jones wanted to sit there and flame me and call me Cade McNown live on air.
That man said,
Yeah.
dead.
Hey.
Oh man.
That man said daily.
And that's how the restaurant has 4.6 stars.
Hey,
That's the problem. That's the problem.
Bro, that's almost a 5-star restaurant in Alabama. Oh hell nah.
That's the problem. He went to Yelp.
Hey, KB, thank you for letting me know that Alabama is just not a place I want to go.
That's the problem. He went to Yelp.
So in the title.
He went to. That's the problem. He went to Yelp to look at a barbecue place.
I'm gonna tell you this right now, and I'm sorry to do you like this, KB, but the Jack in the Box that me and Phil got across the street from his hotel during Super Bowl week, that meat wasn't even as dry as the meat you got.
No,
Oof.
that sad ass Taco Bell would be right before we met DeMar Hamlin.
Oh, yeah, right there in the hood of Phoenix. Me and
Right?
this man Phil walk into Taco Bell, bro, and there's like seven people asleep in Taco Bell, bro.
Walk out. There's DeMar Hamlin on the corner, alive and well.
Yeah, that was cool. That was actually this is off topic obviously, but that was probably the highlight of my Super Bowl week was running into him.
That was nuts. That was probably the craziest thing that
I
happened.
mean,
It's like
I ran into Jacobs, McCaffrey, everybody, bro. We ran into everybody.
we ran
But
into
that
everybody,
shit was
but
cool.
that one was like, yo, I've never seen somebody who I literally watched die. and I that sounds horrible. It sounds horrible. I understand, but there's no other way to explain it. Like the way that man collapsed on the field, you would think that man was no longer, and everybody watched it, and to see him live and kicking a week later, it was like, whoa, this
The coolest thing about that, DeMar Hamlin situation when we ran into him, one, he was walking and he could talk and stuff, but you could tell by talking to him that he wasn't ready to step foot on a football field, nowhere close.
Yeah.
And just the progression that he made this year to even suit up and get and play on the field at all this season is remarkable, man. So it really did stick with me that we ran into him, and it honestly was probably the highlight of the Super Bowl week, as crazy as that sounds. I mean, we were at media days. We got to talk to everyone and anyone. We got to run into everything, but that shit was cool.
Yeah. This comment, yeah. that takes the cake.
Yeah. That shit was wild. Shut up.
Hey, KB, I don't care real meat or not, bro. That shit was moist.
Hit the spot. It didn't dry out your throat.
Man. Hey, what's going on with your camera, bro?
They didn't give him any fucking sauce.
I'm about to move. I'm about to move to another spot, so I'm turning the camera off.
Man. Phil, are you this is also off topic a little bit, but I just wanted to know, are you going to try to be out there in Vegas for the Super Bowl week?
I don't know yet. I got to see. So I got to see how that's all going to shake down because I'll be back in Vegas 2 weeks later for wifey's birthday.
Oh, okay.
and we'll have to see how those accommodations pan out because we're going on vacation this year.
Nice.
So we'll see how that goes down. And I remember that I don't have to be there for the whole week, and I'd much prefer to be there for the back half of the week, but for reasons not to be mentioned here on the media show.
No, I got you. I'll say this, man. Like, I know we're a little bit off topic, but like, Phil helped me get into like doing my media stuff, bro, and like going there and like working alongside him for Super Bowl week was easily the number one thing that tops everything else I've done in like media in my 2 years of doing it. And like that was an experience that if I never get it again, I hold that shit like close, bro, because that was a lot of fun, bro. And it was a very, very fun week, bro. Like hold on one sec. I look at these shits all day, every day. All of my passes are hung up right here, bro. And I look at them and I just like, that shit is just nothing tops it.
Get them all. Want to see how many more I can collect. I've been slacking on them. I haven't gone to anything this year. and just collect them and put them all in the ginormous frame.
Yeah.
I got everything hung up right here. My Bellators, my anything I've done, the
Yeah.
Jake Paul and Silva, and it's cool to look at. I just walk into my kitchen, they're all hanging right there. I'm like, I just want to collect as many as I can.
It's motivation.
Yep. And get better and better events. Like I've been to the Pac-12 championship. I've been to the Super Bowl Radio Row. I've been to various college games. I've been to MMA fights. Been to the Final Four tournament. Been to all kinds of stuff. It's been quite a ride.
Yeah, I actually just found out. This is pretty cool. They're doing the Final Four out here in Arizona.
I won't put you. That's because you be on some bullshit, bro. You gonna come out with that weakness that you've been saying, bro. You gonna have to come with some heat, some fire, some something, bro. I never hit you about that Northern Cali bowl game. Honestly, bro, I didn't want to go to that shit, man. You see who was playing. I would, that's a long ass drive to have to sit there and watch a 3-0 game. But yeah, that's my bad.
Oh man.
So you see how this man gonna he been shamed into trying to take some shots. He looked for the one thing that he could find on your boy Phil after all that horrible ass barbecue that he brought in.
Man. Kenneth, I respect you, KB, but listen, bro. Don't ever get caught slipping like that again, bro. Please. I mean, that shit looks so bad. I'm surprised that shit didn't go viral, bro. I mean, shit.
I want to see it. I want to see the barbecue now. Well, y'all talking this up.
No, you really don't.
No, bro. It's like some shit that you can taste through the screen, bro.
Have you ever had brisket before?
Yeah, I'm in the South.
Okay. So you know how the fat cap on a brisket looks when you got the little tip of meat where it meets the fat cap and it grays out and it just chews and chews but never really turns into anything. That's what that shit looked like.
Damn.
With no sauce. This shit looked and KB he'll tell you this shit looked like it was some ABC gum, bro. Already been chewed.
Tragic. And he was in Alabama.
It was a tragedy. And
Damn.
I looked and I was like, one more reason why I can't go out there. If this is how they're gonna try to kill people with the food, bro, I just won't do it. I know at least if I go to Texas, they won't play with the barbecue. I don't believe that. I don't believe that to be a fact at all. Because if you really want to stop and go down that road, Dan Campbell had no business being the coach in Detroit. That's worked out phenomenally for them. And you had to pay for that. Listen, bro, I'd have lied on the driver, bro. I'd have said that motherfucker ate my fries or something.
He ran off with
I didn't order. Yeah. Give my money back. I'm lying on somebody. He said that food looked like Smokey the Bandit came on the side. Look, that motherfucker looked like Ezel cooked it in a beaker on top of a hot pot. A woman at Waffle House paid for my meal but didn't leave her number. I was like, damn. So the problem was you didn't get her number. That was the bigger issue.
Man.
I'm just saying.
This guy here and got hydrated, bro, on this show, dude. Drank like 6 waters.
Hey, 2 hours into it, you got to do something.
Oh man.
Yeah, then
What do you
have to make a run.
Go do it. Hey, wait, you look tired over there, bro.
I ain't tired.
Man,
Hey,
you
did you
need,
hit at the
you need to
casino?
stop lying, bruh. He over here talking about he ain't tired. It's 2:00 in the morning out there. Oh, I'm good. But for another 4 or 5 hours easy. And out here on the East Coast, we don't sleep.
Shit, that's what happens when you're on break, man. You can sleep in.
I heard that. I heard that. Well, bro, we are 2 hours in, and we have talked about everything under the sun and gotten far, far away from football.
30 minutes. 30 minutes of talking about KB's barbecue and an hour and a half of Raider football, baby. We covered everything.
Y'all.
Right next to me, she's laying down here. She doesn't want to be videoed today, which is incredible because usually she's bumping the mic and all types of shit. But one more time because 63-21.
Ain't going back and forth with you niggas. I'm living my best life.
This is one word, two syllables. Ridiculous, right?